Hey, good morning and welcome to Helping Seniors Update. I'm Kerry Fink, and on behalf of Joe Steckler and Kim Bernard and our entire Helping Seniors team, welcome to this morning's special edition of Helping Seniors Update. I'm so privileged to have along with us uh, a good friend of Helping Seniors, Vicki Moore with Humana and CarePlus. How are you this morning?
I'm great, Carrie. It's really nice to be here today with you.
And we're so excited. We're embarking on a new series. So thank you for joining us. This is just great because kind of in response to COVID-19 and kind of the adjustments that we've all made along the way here, we have really taken time to try to think of good ways to reach out to folks. So Vicki, you might remember when this first kind of came in to be the case. We started a thing that we called Helping Seniors Updates. You know, normally as the Helping Seniors of Brevard organization, we do a tremendous amount of media because we live in a county that's 72 miles long, you know, north to south. And so when you think about it, we've used print. That's why we're in the Senior Scene magazine every single month. Up to 14,000 copies are going out to 500 different locations, because we put our newsletter in the center there because we need to get valuable information into the hands of seniors. And, you know, the same thing, we do a radio show weekly on 90.3 FM WEJF. It's a 30,000 watt powerful FM station blasting up and down the Space Coast, but it's all designed, Joe Steckler and I have talked about this for years, getting the information into the hands of seniors so you can make what he calls a good aging plan. We do television. We do television 3 times a day. Actually, you can catch it broadcast on Space Coast Government Television here, available to every single cable set in Brevard County, and actually to anyone who has access to the internet. And so, Vicki, as we sat down, we started talking about the ways that we could continue to improve the information that we're able to get out to folks. This was such a natural next step, you know, in pre-COVID times. And you know this because you were so kind to come out and help us during open enrollment season last year and sharing your wisdom and expertise about Medicare plans, and so people could make the right choices as they get all that information, you know, jamming into their mailbox this time of year. Well, actually, maybe next month. But we love to do the live events where we have been able to get together at our offices over at the Senior Resource Center of Brevard. But being co-located with Zon Beachside over there, you know, with all the governor's restrictions, we want to do things safely and correctly, and keeping everybody safe is so important. So all these things have now gone to the internet. So we started Helping Seniors Update as a Monday, Wednesday, Friday informational resource to get information into the hands of seniors. And I just want to give one more preamble, Vicki, before we really start diving into today's thing. First of all, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to be part of this. It's groundbreaking for us, and so it's fun. And we've got some good information to share. So very happy to be here.
Yeah, and you know that's what I wanted to tell you is with the Helping Seniors Updates. You know, Joe Steckler, he's our president and founder. He's the guy that started up the Brevard Alzheimer's. To this day, they call it the Joe's Clubs because he was instrumental in getting that going. And 10 years ago, when I first met Joe, he said, "I'm starting this organization called Helping Seniors," and he said the reason I think I need to do that is, he said, because I've run into so many things that involve seniors, and the issues go beyond simply that of memory. And he said, I think we've come up with some good steps in the right direction for that, but we need help on a lot of areas. And so with the Helping Seniors Updates, you know, Vicki, when we were kids, they always talked to us and said, what do you want to be when you grow up? What's your plan? Are you, you know, what is the job that you want to have when you get older? So even in our growing up years, they told us we need to plan ahead. And then, as you know, when we get into our career years, I guess, you know, they're talking to us about, well, do you have a plan for your children? Do you want them to go to college? Do you want, what are the things that you know, that are going to be important? Are you saving for your retirement? And all that is great advice. But what happens once you get to that age? And this is where Joe says you still need a plan. You need an aging plan, one that takes into account all the things that you might be running into as we age. And so what we're going to talk about today is a step really in the right direction. And this is why I'm so excited, because not only do you have some great things to share, but through this entire series called The Art of Healthy Living, every other Friday, we're going to get together on Facebook Live. And I know you've got just a plethora of great things to share with us. So I'm excited about this, Vicki.
I am too. And, I'm grateful Humana has put together these really great educational programs. And I'm just very excited to be able to share them. And I think it fits right into everything that you and, Joe believe in as far as, aging. And it's this presentation is really good for any age, but it's definitely good. It's good information to know as a young person and as you age through life. It's going to just be helpful. So, yeah.
So today, and I love this, is what a great start. We're in these COVID times, and like we said, job number one, I think, is let's stay safe. Let's do the things that keep our seniors safe. And I have to tell you this, Vicki, I am so encouraged, because when I talk to the different organizations that are connected to helping seniors, and these are people going in and out of seniors' homes and providing services there, and people that are connected to assisted livings and things like that. And what I keep hearing is good reports that if we do all the precautions and do the right things, we're able to stay healthy. And it's so funny, because I was actually on the radio just the other week with Dr. Kevin Kilday. He's a gentleman who spends a lot of time on nutrition and things. And so when you told me that the first topic that we're going to cover is boosting your mood with food and fitness, this is like a home run, because you're going to give us some great information about that's going to help us both health-wise and mood-wise. And we've all been kind of cooped up. When we're doing the right things, we're staying home more than we should. So we need everything that's going to give us a little edge on that. So with that in mind, I'm going to kind of bow out, and I really like to turn over, because you've got a great presentation. And if you're joining us, thank you for joining. You can share this page out on Facebook. Just tell your friends, meet us on Helping Seniors of Brevard Facebook. You just put it in the search bar. It'll be right there. We encourage you to like and share our page. And thank you, Vicki, for taking the time. So without further ado, let me introduce one more time a good friend of Helping Seniors, Vicki Moore with Humana and CarePlus.
Well, thank you so much, Carrie. So yes, the program today we're talking about is boosting your mood with food and fitness. And I think we can all agree with coronavirus, this I can't talk this morning. The times that we're in right now are kind of tough, and I think it's affecting a lot of our moods. So this is really, I think, very, very relevant topic. So my name is Vicki Moore, as Carrie said, with Humana and CarePlus, and really happy to be here with you today. And just a few things to remember: if you hear anything today during today's class that inspires you to make some sort of health or medical change, like changing your eating habits or starting an exercise program, make sure that you talk to your doctor first, because I am not a medical professional. And just so you know, those of you that are tuning in, Carrie, I think they do have the ability do they have the ability to make comments? Is there a chat available, or are we all kind of watching?
No, absolutely, folks. As you know,
Okay.
with Facebook Live, one of the beautiful things is there is an opportunity for you to ask a question or do those things as we go along. Bear with us as we work through those, because we'll probably get to those really toward the end of the presentation. But yes, absolutely. It's one of the reasons why we want you to share the video with your friends. And the beautiful thing too is that you'll be able to come back if you missed something the first time through. You can always look at it again on the Facebook. And just thank you for sharing this, Vicki, today.
Okay. Yeah, and so we definitely want feedback. Feel free to make comments, and we'll try to address those and as we go through. So our agenda today, believe it or not, your mood is closely related to what you eat and how you move your body. During today's class, we're going to learn about the difference between moods and mood disorders, surprising things that may affect your mood, the food-mood connection, and how exercise and physical activity impact our frame of mind. So the first thing I want to do is actually just define what is mood. So it is, the Oxford Dictionary defines mood as a temporary state of mind or feeling. So moods are generally described as either being positive, you're in a good mood, or negative, you're in a bad mood. I think we can all agree that we prefer to be in a good mood instead of a bad mood. And we like to be around people that are in a good mood versus people that are in a bad mood. Unlike temperament and personality, moods tend to be shorter. They're shorter term emotional states. This means it can change frequently depending on what's happening around us. We all know those people that are always happy and cheerful, and we also know those people that aren't as happy and cheerful. I think we all kind of prefer typically to be around the more pleasant people. And those people just have those natural temperaments and personalities that they're born with. But those, there are things we can do to change these moods for the better or for the worse. So during today's class, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about how to tip the mood scale in that positive direction with food and fitness. All right, so we're going to talk about just some specific mood disorders. It's not unusual to feel sad or irritable from time to time. You may feel like you're in a bad mood. And as we've already kind of talked about, particularly now in this coronavirus epidemic that we've been going through since March, many of us are experiencing more sadness and depression than maybe we had before. And so, it can start to pile on. But a mood disorder is different because it drastically affects a person's emotional state. According to the National Library of Medicine, nearly 1 in 10 people aged 18 and older have mood disorders. So let's talk about some of the most common mood disorders. The first one is major depression. It's characterized by feeling sad or hopeless and having less interest in your usual activities for at least 2 weeks. Then you've also got bipolar disorder, which is a condition in which a person alternates between feeling depressed and then having an elevated mood. And then you've also got dysthymic disorder, which is a chronic low-grade depressed mood that lasts for at least 2 years. And of course, as I said at the beginning, if you do feel like you have any of this going on, definitely consult your physician. All right, so what affects your mood? Before we begin talking about the connections between the food, the fitness, and the mood, let's think about some of the factors that can affect our mood. So this can include, first of all, other people. We've all dealt with people that can make us happy or sad or make us laugh or angry or just plain drive us crazy. These could be our friends, they could be our coworkers, and they can even be our family members. Sleep is also a big factor in affecting our mood. So whether if we're feeling great and happy because we had, 8 hours or more of sleep the night before, or maybe we're dragging a little bit and feeling down because we just tossed and turned all night and can barely sleep at all. You've also got your diet and nutrition that affects your mood, your exercise and your physical activity affects your mood, weather affects your mood, medications that you take can affect your mood, music affects your mood, and the environment, whether it's inside or outside. And feel free if you guys are out there and type in some things that affect your mood. We'd love to hear what that could be. I know for me, when I'm feeling down, one thing that really can help me is exercise. That's a big thing for me. It's my big go-to. And music. Those are definitely things that can lift my mood. Weather is also a big thing for me. And for those of you that know me, I moved here to Florida, to Melbourne, about 2.5 years ago from Indiana. And weather was one of the reasons that I made that move, because weather really does affect my mood. So I love the sunshine and being, year-round warm weather. That makes me happy. And there's actually a name for that, which many of you may have heard, but that's called the seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. And I've never actually been diagnosed with that, but as self-diagnosis, I feel like I definitely have that. But there's a lot of people that like cooler weather and not sunny days, so we're all built a little differently. But let's get a little more technical and look inside the brain. We're going to look at our brain transmitters. These brain chemicals that we have are called the neurotransmitters. Their role is far too complex for us to discuss in today's class, but they basically act as a chemical messenger that helps brain cells communicate with one another. They regulate a variety of processes, including our emotions, our mood, our memory, our cognition, our concentration, our appetite, and our energy. According to the Cleveland Clinic, the 4 neurotransmitters most involved in regulating mood are serotonin, norepinephrine, dopamine, and acetylcholine. So serotonin, I think we've all heard of, that's our feel-good chemical that helps us promote calmness, it improves our outlook, and may lessen the symptoms of depression. The norepinephrine and the dopamine work together to increase your energy level and your alertness and enhance our concentration. And then we've got our acetylcholine, which is produced from a B vitamin called choline. It's a chemical believed to influence learning, memory, and mood. All right, so that's the technical part of this presentation. I'm sure you guys know there will be a quiz at the end, just in case you were wondering. All right, so the food-mood connection. Using your diet to help lift your mood begins with applying some basic nutrition strategies. Your brain runs best on a high-quality diet, so it's important to have a healthy foundation to start from. Combining these basic nutrition strategies with certain mood-boosting foods may help you feel even better. We'll talk about some specific examples in a moment, but just as important as what to eat is what to avoid. Some foods can make you feel worse, so we'll also talk about those later in this presentation. So first, let's cover the foods that contribute to boosting our mood. Let's see, so the basics of good nutrition. Think of your brain as an expensive car that takes premium fuel. What happens when you put subpar fuel in it? It doesn't run as well as it should, especially over time. According to Harvard Health, eating high-quality foods with lots of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants keeps the brain well-nourished and protected from oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is that cell-damaging waste, also called the free radicals. They're produced when the body uses oxygen. Harvard Health also tells us that multiple studies have found a correlation between a diet high in refined sugars and impaired brain function. So even a worsening of symptoms of mood disorders such as depression. So what they're saying is that definitely does could increase things like depression, eating those high sugar, those refined sugars. And according to a large 2015 study published in BMC Medicine, following a Mediterranean diet shows evidence of supporting mental health and reducing the risk of depression. The study included 15,000 participants who were followed for 10 years to identify the connection between diet and conditions like depression. This Mediterranean diet emphasizes fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, nuts, and seeds, fish and seafood, healthy fats like olive oil, and a moderate amount of red wine. It limits foods like red meat and butter, which are high in saturated fats. And there are countries that support the Mediterranean diet. These would be Spain, Greece, France, Northern Africa. And due to this, Spain is actually set to become the country with the longest life expectancy by the year 2040, with its people living an average of 85 and a half years. I kind of thought that was interesting. So the Mediterranean diet is what they recommend to have the healthiest life. So what you eat is important, but so is when you eat. To feel your best, avoid skipping meals, eating regular meals and snacks throughout the day. Helps keep your body well-fueled and your blood sugar levels steady. When you skip meals or snacks, your blood sugar levels are more likely to go up and down like a roller coaster. Your mood may do the same in response. So I know I am definitely guilty of this. I often get so busy through my day that I don't take time to have lunch, or even have snacks along the way. I am pretty good about having my breakfast every morning. I like to start off with oatmeal and fruit, and that's actually kind of new. I probably wasn't always the healthiest eater, but because I've been doing a lot of reading and things like this, and I know how important these things are, I've really been trying to address that a lot better. So are any of you guilty of the above? Do you skip meals? Are you finding that it does affect your mood? Are you having mood swings? Just something to think about. All right, so let's focus on feel-good foods. After building a base of good nutrition habits, you may want to consider adding in some feel-good foods. According to the Cleveland Clinic, the ideal mood-boosting meals are ones that combine quality complex carbs and lean protein. This is because serotonin is released after eating carbs, while dopamine and norepinephrine are released after eating protein. Complex carbs, like your whole grains, your beans, and your vegetables, that is the better choice than the simple carbs, which are your candies, your sugars, and your soda. So this is because simple carbs give us that quick burst of energy by raising our blood sugar, often followed by that similarly dramatic fall. Complex carbs, on the other hand, provide a more long-lasting effect. And then your lean proteins, like your chicken, your turkey, your lean beef, your legumes, they are better for your heart and are easier to digest than your fatty cuts of meat. So look for good examples of meals with complex carbs and lean protein. Then you could consider maybe for lunch a tuna or turkey sandwich on 100% whole grain bread, whole grain pasta with turkey meatballs and red sauce, a piece of lean meat with brown rice and vegetables, quinoa, which is a complete plant protein with roasted vegetables. Those would be all great options that are the complex carbs versus your simple carbs that are going to just affect your mood a lot better. Now, something just on a personal note, I last summer was actually diagnosed with celiac disease. So I cannot eat gluten, which, you find that in a lot of wheat products and whole grains and things like that. So that's something else. So again, always, anytime you have everyone, this is a personal thing. So always consult your doctor and make sure everything that you're eating works for you. Let's see, in addition to complex carbs and lean protein, there are some nutrients that are thought to be beneficial for mood. According to the American Academy of Family Physicians, omega-3 fatty acids, folate, vitamin B12, and vitamin D have been researched for their roles in preventing or reducing the symptoms of mood disorders like depression. The results of this research have been mixed, but it may be beneficial to talk to your healthcare providers to see if your levels may be low. Some sources of omega-3 fatty acids would be salmon, herring, tuna, mackerel, walnuts, chia seeds. Sources of folate would be spinach, black-eyed peas, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, avocado. And then sources of vitamin B12 would be your trout, your salmon, your tuna, and your cheese. And then sources of vitamin D include salmon, swordfish, mushrooms, and fortified milk. All right, so let's avoid bad mood foods. I think we all want to do that. So if you're ever feeling like your food choices are tied to your mood, you may be experiencing emotional eating. Emotional eating often leads to eating too much. Additionally, foods that are high in calories, fat, sugar, or salt can become more appealing. In fact, these foods release these mood-boosting neurotransmitters in the brain, kind of like serotonin, which may help explain why they're commonly craved when you're experiencing your negative emotions. You may be tempted to reach for simple sugars and other refined carbohydrates, but these foods are especially problematic because they have a roller coaster-like effect on your blood sugar. Plus, they often lack nutrients and are basically empty calories for the body. Decreasing the amount of sugar and refined carbs in your diet can be challenging. It may help to wean yourself off sugar gradually to retrain your taste buds. You can do this by making some diet swaps, like drink water instead of sodas, sweet tea or juice, choose fresh whole foods over processed, ready-to-eat options, and cut back on your weekly desserts, indulgences. Or you can replace them with small portions of like maybe dark chocolate or dried fruit. So I have found personally that these little tricks do work when you're not consuming all of this sugar. You don't crave it as much anymore. But I found if I have slipped and maybe bought some ice cream at the store and I start eating that, then I start wanting it every night. So it really is, it's a matter of kind of training your body. Another thing, it's important to avoid alcohol. According to the Mayo Clinic, while alcohol may seem to improve mood in the short term, it actually increases your symptoms of anxiety and depression. Plus, it can interact negatively with medications that you may be taking. used to treat your mood disorders and other conditions. Another potential nutrition-related mood buster, low-carb diets. Remember, carbs help us get more mood-boosting serotonin to the brain via that amino acid called tryptophan. So banishing, if you're taking away the carbs and are following that very low-carb diet, like the keto diet, this actually interferes with the production of mood-regulating neurotransmitters. And I know that diet's really popular right now, so that's a little bit tricky, but they're saying the research shows that it's actually not good for your mood. All right, so the fitness mood connection. When what you eat is only one piece of the equation for boosting your mood, how you move your body is equally as important. Exercise can be thought of as nature's mood booster. This is because it releases endorphins. According to the Mayo Clinic, among other things, these powerful feel-good brain chemicals can help lift your spirits. Physical activity also stimulates the release of neurotransmitters like the serotonin, the dopamine, and the norepinephrine. In addition, exercise serves as a healthy distraction from your worries. It helps you gain confidence and provides an opportunity for more social interaction. And I know personally, exercise, if I don't get to get my exercise in for the day, it definitely affects my mood. So I am a firm believer in exercise. All right, so stay active, but have fun. You may be wondering about the best type of exercise to give your mood that boost. According to the American College of Sports Medicine, exercise is medicine. When performed on a regular basis, moderate or vigorous physical activity improves your mental well-being. The key here is choosing activities that you enjoy. This makes you more likely to stick with them. Both aerobic and strength training exercises appear to help with depression and anxiety, so it may help to incorporate both of those into your routine. But the ACSM recommends doing the aerobic activities like your walking, your swimming, your bicycling, and your dancing if you're just starting out. And then it says you can gradually add in those strength training workouts over time for extra benefits. So both the ACSM and the CDC, which we're hearing a lot from them these days, they recommend that most healthy adults get at least 150 minutes of a moderate intensity aerobic exercise per week. They also recommend doing strength training exercise twice per week, preferably on opposing days. So if you're not sure where to start, look for a fitness class or program in your community. You could just begin walking. All you really need is a good pair of shoes. A pedometer can help you track your progress and work towards a goal in getting in, a certain amount of steps per day. And then always talk to your healthcare provider before beginning an exercise program. He or she may have some specific recommendations for you personally. All right, so what is your favorite way to be active? Before we review the program from today, let us know what your favorite activities are. Remember, the best way to exercise is going to be the one that you enjoy the most. There's going to be a much higher likelihood that you'll actually do the activity. And for me personally, I really enjoy, I walk a lot. When I am not feeling really up for exercise, walking is always my go-to, because once I start walking, it just makes everything feel a lot better for me. And I really enjoy the water. So if I'm walking, I like to walk near the water. So whether it be over the causeway, I walk over here locally, I walk over the O'Galley Causeway, and I guess, what do they call it, the Melbourne Causeway. So I like those a lot, and I also love to walk on the beach. I also enjoy swimming. I recently bought myself a bicycle, so I like to go biking, and I'm really kind of into dancing a lot. I go to the Zumba, and I'm doing that 4 to 5 times a week, and I love it. So those are all, for me personally, really great ways to exercise, and I like the variety of it. That it does definitely make it more interesting and keeps me more active. So let's review. We're going to end today's class with a quick review. A bad mood is not the same as having a mood disorder. Remember that mood changes frequently depending on what's happening around us. The symptoms of mood disorders are more severe than just being in a bad mood, and they often last longer, 2 weeks or more at the minimum. So certain types of food can help maximize the release of important neurotransmitters. The foundation of mood boosting diet lies in establishing those healthy nutrition habits, but combining complex carbs and that lean protein may help stimulate the release of the serotonin, the dopamine, and the norepinephrine. And getting adequate amounts of sugar or amounts of the omega-3 fatty acids, the B vitamins, the folate, the B12, and the vitamin D. But also it's important to avoid those foods that have a roller coaster effect on your blood sugar, which are those simple sugars, like anything that we want to eat, typically the ice cream, the cakes, the cupcakes, the cookies. And then, of course, regular exercise releases those mood boosting endorphins. Exercise can turn your mood around almost instantly. So the key is to finding activities that you really enjoy, and that way you're just more likely to stick with it. And that is our presentation, Carrie. So you have any questions, comments about anything?
You know, that was excellent. And one of the notes that I wrote down while you were going through this that I thought was kind of interesting is when you got to the part that you were talking about the Mediterranean diet. And, you know, you often hear people when they're talking, particularly in the medical profession, they'll talk to you about a Mediterranean diet as having maybe benefits for your heart. You know, it lowers the blood pressure, and they will talk to you on levels like that. I didn't really realize, though, until you were bringing it up in this conversation, that it also is it has a positive effect on mood and outcome for that. So you really kind of looks like you get a double benefit when you go over in that direction, and particularly when you quoted that statistic about life expectancy in in the countries that adopt that kind of a diet. It really makes you stop and think, I think.
No, I agree. And you're right. I mean, a lot of this information that I presented today is, we've heard a lot of that information, but I don't know that we've always associated with how it affects our moods. And, you just don't always think about that, but it does. It plays a big part in it.
Yeah, and even like the conventional wisdom, I'm having a bad day, so I'm going to go out and buy an ice cream sundae. Maybe that isn't the best thing when you're talking about the roller coaster effect of that. And really, what what occurs to me as you were making the presentation through all that is that there's a lot of excellent value to thinking through. If you want to feel better and you want to have the best possible mood. As you're, particularly when you're being challenged, with COVID restrictions and other things like that, really makes sense, I think, to follow the things that you've been talking about today.
Yep, I agree. I think it's really great information.
So let me ask you this, Vicki. First of all, thank you for taking the time to present everything on the art of healthy living, and particularly what a great way to talk about helping us get our mood in its best possible place, supported by our nutrition. But I wanted to ask you a little bit. I know we've got several great topics. We're going to be doing this every other Friday. So the next date I think that we talked about that's coming up is going to be on September the 18th.
That's right.
We've got a great topic for that. And I think then we were also talking about, and this is important, I just want to bring this up. I want to ask you to go ahead and mark your calendar now, because on also, in addition for writing down that we'll be back at 11:30 on Friday, September 18th, we will also be back at 11:30 on Friday, October 2nd. And this I think is very timely, and it's very important that you mark that date on your calendar, because that's the date you are going to present on Medicare 101. And the reason, folks, that's important is, you get down towards the last part of the year, and your mailbox starts filling up with all these different things telling you you've got to take a look at your what you're doing about your Medicare plan and what you want to do for the next year. And it's so important to make sure that you attack that with good information. Don't just necessarily, if you're someplace else, you don't want to just necessarily tick a box and say, oh, I'm going to do the same thing, because maybe if a prescription changed in the formulary or things like that, you really want to get some expert thinking on that. And so I'm really excited that when we're talking on Friday, October 2nd, Vicki, you're going to be presenting on that topic.
Yes, we're going to have a great overview of, it's called Medicare 101. So it's going to give you all the basics of Medicare. And then, of course, if anyone watching has, more in-depth questions or wants to actually get plan comparisons and things like that, they can always reach out to us and, definitely be able to do a deeper dive. But you're so right. It's just very important. I think people get locked into, okay, this is my plan, but every single year the plans look different. They change a little bit. And beginning October 1st is when people can start having those discussions with, with a licensed sales agent about those different options. And so it's very important to look at their, what we call that annual notice of change. And so anyway, so we're going to talk about that in more depth and just give people, more information on that topic. So I think, yeah, it's a very timely topic for that time of year for sure.
Yeah, and I was just thinking about it because I remember you were so kind. You came over to the Senior Resource Center of Brevard in 2019 when we had an in-person session. There was a whole group of people that were there to take advantage of learning about Medicare open enrollment season. And I remember one of the things that was really strongly talked about that day was, what can happen, particularly in your prescription plans and things like that. And you want to be really well in tune with that, because as I learned from you and the other presenters that day, sometimes those aren't small changes. Those can have huge impacts. And so you really want to sit down with somebody who can help you to navigate the system. And Vicki, I know you work with some of the top companies that provide that kind of information. I want to be sure that we give people your contact information if they have questions. Maybe something in this conversation today sparked something for them on the art of healthy living, or maybe they just want to get ahead of the curve and start talking with you about Medicare 101. And Vicki, that's the other thing, right? Is a lot of people, they talk to us. It's something that I think the statistic nationwide is one every 7 seconds or so, somebody in the country turns 65 plus. So there's many folks that are not only trying to decide if what plan choice they should make for the next year, but they may be just running up on it now and trying to make a decision without necessarily having a whole lot of research. And so again, it seems to make sense to contact your office and maybe get some inside information. How do they do that?
Okay, so Carrie, they can contact. Well, right now our offices are currently closed due to coronavirus, but we're all out there working, and we're working over the phone, we're working electronically, but they can reach my cell phone at 321-272-0218. Mm-hmm. And gosh, Carrie, I feel terrible. I don't have my office phone. Okay, yes, here we go. Office phone number is 321-751-7645. And all of those phone calls will be forwarded. There's several of us licensed sales agents in the office, and so those calls will be forwarded to each of us. So yes, we all are very knowledgeable and would be happy to answer any questions.
So let's give those numbers one more time so people can get in touch with you, either as a follow-up on the information that you presented today on the art of healthy living, and in particularly our topic about boosting your mood through good nutrition, or maybe you just want to have a conversation with somebody that really knows. And Vicki, I know you, so I know you care to help people make a good decision for themselves as they look towards their healthcare plans for 2021.
Yes, definitely. So the numbers again, my cell phone number is 321-272-0218. And then the Humana Market Point office, which is located in Melbourne, is 321-751-7645.
That's great. Well, and so here we are on Labor Day weekend, folks, on the Helping Seniors Update. So thrilled to have this great opportunity to work together with our friends at Humana and to present this kind of information. As you know, we do Helping Seniors Updates every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So again, on Monday, we'll be back with a Helping Seniors update as you enjoy your Labor Day celebration. And also, I want to remind you as we close out on today that this is also high season for the Helping Seniors Car Raffle. Now, for those of you that have followed Joe Steckler and Helping Seniors for years, you know this is our 4th annual Helping Seniors Car Raffle. It is a major way that we fund our Florida not-for-profit. That's how we do the work that we do as a non-for-profit with the county's information helpline at 321-473-7770, 321-473-7770. And you can get involved in the work of helping seniors directly by supporting the work of helping seniors through getting your Helping Seniors Car Raffle ticket. How do you do that? Go to helpingseniorscarraffle.com. And Vicki, I know you've heard part of this before, but we're out this weekend playing with some of these really cool cars from AJ Hires at Boniface Hires car dealerships. He's got one of everything. He's got a Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler. He's got a Mazda. He's got a Chevrolet store. He's got a Kia store. And so what we're doing over the Labor Day weekend, we're actually broadcasting from each one of his locations. And at each location, we are showcasing the car that is representative of that particular dealership. And Joe Steckler, our president and founder, and AJ Hires go way, way, way back to the days when Joe was creating the Joe's Clubs for the Brevard Alzheimer's Foundation here. And for those of you who don't know, Joe is 86 years young, and he's a gentleman. He's a captain in the U.S. Navy, retired. He couldn't stay retired, so when he and his wife moved here to Florida from his last command in the U.S. Navy, where he was actually in charge of the Gulfport, Mississippi Naval Retirement Home, he founded and got started working on the Brevard Alzheimer's Foundation, got all that built up, and then 10 years ago, launched the Helping Seniors organization. And he has always been about the work of helping seniors. So he and AJ years ago came up with car raffles as a way to help fund it. You can get your tickets. It's real simple. One ticket is a $25 or 5 tickets for a $100 donation. And let me explain why you want to consider the $100 donation. The reason being is your ticket does 3 things. Number one, it is a chance to win your choice of a 2020 Chevrolet Camaro, 2020 Dodge 2020 Dodge Challenger, 2020 Kia Sportage, or a 2020 Mazda Miata convertible. You get to pick the car when they pick your ticket as the winning ticket. So that's number one. Number two, you get to come to the museum. Sadly, you won't be able to come to the museum on October 10th, and that is because the governor's restrictions still don't allow a group of more than 50 people into the museum at one time. But the beautiful thing is we're going to be broadcasting everything Facebook Live, YouTube Live. You're going to be able to see, have a personalized tour on video of all these great cars. But that's not all, because your ticket will gain you admission to the American Muscle Car Museum. Mark Pylock, who is the owner of that beautiful facility and all those mega cars, he has kindly invited Helping Seniors ticket holders to come back to the museum. In fact, he's going to give us literally 3 different dates where your ticket will be honored as his guest into the museum. He said, I'll even bring the pizza and soda, so it'll just be a nice afternoon, and you can take all the time you want and explore those cars. So, and then the third benefit you get out of the Helping Seniors car raffle is that you are supporting the work. Some people say it's paying it forward, but in all cases, you will be helping seniors of Brevard. And so again, Vicki, I just want to thank you for sharing what you did today. This was a great presentation. Thank you for being part of the Helping Seniors organization. We appreciate all that you and your fine team at Humana do. And we will hope that everybody has a good, safe, take care of all those precautions, especially if you're getting together with any family members over the Labor Day weekend. But hope you have a good, safe, and enjoyable weekend. And we'll see you again soon on Monday we'll see you this weekend from the car dealerships, but we'll definitely see you Monday back with Helping Seniors updates. On behalf of Joe Steckler and Kim Bernard, our education specialist, and our whole Helping Seniors team, thank you for joining us today. And thank you, Vicki, for joining us.
Thank you so much, Carrie. It was great.